Part 2. He's made it clear to the entire family that he supports my decision. Unfortunately, Melissa has escalated her social media campaign, now directly calling me out by name and posting old family photos where my mom is wearing the jewelry set, with captions like "Remember when family heirlooms were actually shared with family? Now my selfish cousin is hoarding them all." She's even started a family group chat, excluding me, where she's asking relatives to pressure me into doing the right thing. Some relatives have reached out privately to tell me they're on my side but don't want to say so publicly to avoid drama. Others have fully taken my aunt's side and are flooding my inbox with guilt-tripping messages. One cousin suggested a compromise where I let Melissa wear the jewelry for her wedding but keep ownership, which might have been reasonable if they hadn't already tried to steal my keys. The worst part is that my aunt has now started telling people that my mom actually promised her the jewelry before she died, which is a complete fabrication. I have her will and a handwritten letter specifically stating her wishes for the jewelry to go to me, so legally I'm protected, but emotionally it's devastating to hear my aunt trying to rewrite history and tarnish my mom's memory. I've decided to take a step back from family interactions for now, focusing on protecting myself legally and emotionally. I've blocked Melissa on social media, changed the location of my safe deposit box, and am keeping my distance while my lawyer handles communications. It hurts to see family turning against each other like this, especially over something that should be respected as my mother's final wish. I'll update again if anything significant happens, but for now, I'm trying to heal and protect both the jewelry and my own mental health from this toxic situation. Update 2, 1 month later. It's been a month since my last update, and things have somehow managed to get both better and worse. First, the good news: my aunt's lawyer backed down completely after my lawyers sent documentation proving the jewelry was legally left to me, including my mom's will, the handwritten letter, and statements from 2 witnesses who were present when my mom gave me the jewelry. My lawyer made it absolutely clear that any further legal threats would result in a harassment suit. My aunt was furious when her lawyer told her they couldn't proceed, and apparently, she had a complete meltdown. My younger aunt, the supportive one, told me that my older aunt had been convinced she could intimidate me into giving up the jewelry just by having a lawyer send a threatening letter. She never expected me to get my own legal representation or to have such solid documentation. Unfortunately, this has resulted in an even deeper family rift. My aunt and uncle have now resorted to spreading vicious rumors about me to extended family and family friends. They're telling people that I'm selling pieces of the jewelry to fund a lavish lifestyle, completely untrue, that I've always been jealous of Melissa, and even suggesting that I manipulated my mother while she was ill to ensure I got the jewelry. It's disgusting and hurtful, especially dragging my mother's final days into their lies. On the brighter side, these outlandish claims have actually caused several family members who were on the fence to reach out and offer their support to me. They could see how ridiculous and desperate these accusations were. My grandfather has been particularly wonderful. He called a small family meeting, without my aunt's family, to set the record straight about my mom's wishes, and to express his disappointment in how my aunt and uncle are behaving. In a surprising twist, Melissa's fiancé contacted me privately last week. He was extremely apologetic and said he had no idea about the attempted theft of my keys or the extent of the drama Melissa and her parents were creating. He said Melissa had simply told him I was being difficult about lending jewelry for the wedding. When he learned the full story, he was horrified and apparently had a serious conversation with Melissa about her behavior. As a result, Melissa sent me a terse message saying she was sorry for any misunderstanding and that she would find other jewelry for her wedding. It wasn't exactly heartfelt, but at least she's backing off. However, her parents are still fuming and continuing their campaign against me. They're now refusing to attend any family events where I'm present, which is creating scheduling nightmares for other relatives trying to plan gatherings. The most painful development is that several older family members have reached out to essentially say, "Just lend her the jewelry to keep the peace, it's what your mother would have wanted." They don't seem to understand that, 1. I know better than anyone what my mother wanted, 2. These people tried to steal from me, and 3. Giving into this kind of manipulation would only encourage more entitlement in the future. My therapist has been incredibly helpful through all of this. She's helping me set boundaries and work through the grief that's been stirred up by this whole ordeal. She pointed out that this situation isn't really about jewelry, it's about respecting my mother's memory and wishes, and about family dynamics that have been problematic for years. For now, I'm focusing on the family members who have been supportive and limiting contact with those who haven't. I've made it clear that I'm always open to genuine reconciliation, but not at the expense of my boundaries or my mother's final wishes. The jewelry remains safely stored away, and I've had a security system installed in my apartment just in case my aunt gets any more ideas about borrowing the jewelry. I'll update again if there are any major developments, but for now, I'm trying to move forward and focus on honoring my mom's memory in positive ways rather than getting dragged further into this drama. Update 3, 6 months later. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I thought I should share how things have progressed, as there have been some significant developments in this whole family saga. First, Melissa got married 3 weeks ago. As far as I know, she wore jewelry borrowed from her new mother-in-law. I wasn't invited to the wedding, of course, but I saw photos through mutual friends. Honestly, it looked like a lovely ceremony, and I sincerely hope she's happy in her marriage. As for my aunt and uncle, they've maintained their campaign against me, but with diminishing returns. Most of the family has grown tired of their constant negativity and attempts to vilify me. Even people who initially sided with them have started to distance themselves after seeing how obsessive they've become about the whole situation. The biggest surprise came about 2 months ago. My grandfather, who's been my biggest supporter throughout this ordeal, decided to address the situation once and for all. At 78 years old, he's the family patriarch and generally commands respect from everyone. He invited the entire extended family, except me, to his house for dinner, and according to my supportive aunt who was there, he didn't mince words. He apparently told everyone the full history of the jewelry, how it had been in the family for generations, how his mother had specifically chosen my mom to be its keeper because of her appreciation for family history, and how my mom had explicitly wanted it to go to me. He expressed his deep disappointment in how certain family members, looking directly at my aunt and uncle, had tried to circumvent these wishes, and had created a toxic environment in the family. The most powerful moment came when he pulled out old family photos and letters that documented the jewelry's history and the intentions for its passage through generations. He even had a recording from 10 years ago, at a family reunion, where my mom was talking about how she hoped I would one day wear the sapphire set at my own wedding. Apparently, there wasn't a dry eye in the room, except for my aunt and uncle, who were fuming.